A poor boy invited a nurse to prom. He never knew she was the CEO's daughter. Marcus wiped down the hospital corridor for the third time that evening. His janitor shift ended at 11, giving him just enough time to catch the last bus home. At 17, he worked weekends and evenings to tef his mom with rent. School during the day, cleaning at night, that was his life. "Hey, could you grab that spill near room 30? He looked up. The nurse from the pediatric ward stood there, pointing down the hall. Emma. She always smiled at him. Always said thank you. Most staff acted like he was invisible. "Sure thing," Marcus said, pushing his cart toward the spill. Emma walked alongside him. "Long shift tonight?" "Every night," he replied, keeping his eyes on the floor. Rich kids at school barely noticed him. He wasn't about to expect anything different here. "I get it. I'm pulling doubles all week." She tucked a strand of blonde hair behind her ear. "You go to Lincoln High, right? I've seen your school ID." Marcus nodded, surprised she'd noticed. "Yeah, senior year. Prom season must be coming up soon." His stomach tightened. Prom. The one night everyone talked about, the one night he couldn't afford. Tickets were $80. A suit would cost more than he made in 2 weeks. He'd already accepted he wouldn't go. Before we continue, let us know in the comments where you're watching from, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. "Not really my scene," Marcus said, squeezing his mop. Emma leaned against the wall, her scrubs creased from a long day. "Why not? You should go. Senior prom only happens once. Can't afford it." The words came out before he could stop them. Heat rushed to his face. She didn't laugh or look away. "What if you had a date who already bought her ticket?" Marcus froze. Was she suggesting what he thought she was suggesting? "I know this sounds random," Emma continued, "but I never went to my prom. Always regretted it. Lincoln's letting community members attend if they buy tickets. I already got mine." "Want go together?" His mind raced. A nurse asking him to prom. This had to be a joke, but her expression seemed genuine. "You're serious?" "Completely serious." "Think about it. No pressure." She walked away before he could respond, leaving Marcus standing in the empty corridor, mop in hand, wondering if his luck had finally changed. Marcus couldn't sleep that night. Emma's offer played on repeat in his mind. A beautiful nurse wanted to go to prom with him. It didn't make sense. Girls like her didn't notice guys like him. At school the next day his best friend Tyler couldn't believe it. "Dude, a nurse, an actual adult nurse asked you to prom." Tyler's eyes widened in the cafeteria. "Keep your voice down," Marcus hissed. "I haven't even said yes yet. What's there to think about? She's gorgeous, and she already has a ticket. That's literally perfect." But Marcus knew it wasn't that simple. He still needed a suit, shoes, maybe flowers. His mom's car barely ran. How would he even get there? And what would people at school say when they saw him with someone who wasn't a student? That evening at the hospital, Emma found him during his break. "Have you thought about it?" she asked, sitting beside him in the employee lounge. "I want to say yes," Marcus admitted, "but I can't afford the other stuff. Suit, transportation, all that." Emma pulled out her phone. "What size jacket do you wear?" "Why? Just tell me." 40 regular, I think. She typed quickly. "I have a brother. He left a suit at my place months ago. Should fit you. And I can drive us." Problem solved. Marcus stared at her. "Why are you doing this?" "Maybe I just want to go to prom," she said softly. "Maybe I see someone who works harder than most people twice his age, and I think he deserves one good night." Her kindness felt foreign. Nobody did things like this for him. "Okay," Marcus said. "Yes, I'll go with you." Emma's smile could have lit the entire hospital. "Perfect. It's 3 weeks away. I'll bring the suit next week." Over the following days, Marcus noticed things he hadn't before. Emma drove a modest Honda, wore the same scrubs rotation, and always packed lunch from home. She didn't seem wealthy, yet she carried it with quiet confidence. She never talked about family or personal life. For someone so friendly, she revealed very little about herself. The suit fit perfectly when she brought it, charcoal gray, barely worn. Marcus tried it on in the hospital bathroom, staring at his reflection. He looked different, older, like someone who belonged at prom. "You clean up nice," Emma said when he emerged. "Where did your brother get this?" "It looks expensive." "He has good taste," she replied, deflecting. "Keep it. He won't miss it." But something in her tone made Marcus wonder. The fabric felt too fine, the cut too precise. This wasn't a department store suit, this was something else entirely. Who was Emma's brother? And why did she volunteer at a hospital when she clearly could afford not to? Prom was 5 days away when Marcus overheard a conversation that changed everything. He was cleaning near the hospital administrator's office, a place he rarely worked. The door stood slightly open, and voices drifted out. "Miss Whitmore, your father called again. He's concerned about your living situation." Marcus froze. Whitmore. That name meant something in this city. "Tell him I'm fine," Emma's voice responded. "I don't need his money, or his interference. He's worried. You could be living in the penthouse instead of that studio apartment. Working as a nurse when you could be." "I want to work as a nurse. This is my choice." The administrator sighed. "Your father just wants to see you at the company event next month. He misses you." "I'll think about it." Emma emerged seconds later, nearly colliding with Marcus. Her eyes widened. "How much did you hear?" "Enough to know Whitmore is your last name," Marcus said carefully. She grabbed his arm, pulling him into an empty conference room. "Please don't make a big deal about this." "Whitmore as in Whitmore Medical Group. The company that owns this hospital and 15 others." Emma's silence confirmed it. "Your father is Richard Whitmore, the CEO, the billionaire CEO." "Yes." She crossed her arms defensively. "That's why I don't tell people. Everyone treats me differently when they know. They want something. Money, connections, favors. I came here to be normal, to work like everyone else. To be seen for who I am, not who my father is." Marcus felt his world tilt. He'd been talking to a billionaire's daughter for weeks, taking her to prom. She'd offered him her brother's suit, probably custom-made and worth more than his mom's car. "Is that why you asked me to prom?" The question hurt to ask. Some kind of experiment? Rich girl playing poor for kicks? Emma's face fell. "No. God, no, Marcus, I asked you because you're kind. You work yourself to exhaustion and still smile at patients in the hallway. You study during breaks. You never complain. Everyone else at this hospital either doesn't know who I am, or is trying to impress my father through me. You're the only person who treats me like a regular human being." "Because I didn't know." "Exactly. And it was perfect." Her voice cracked. "I should have told you sooner. I'm sorry. If you want to back out of prom, I understand." Marcus looked at her. Really looked. Underneath the revelation, she was still the same person who'd been kind to him, who'd noticed him when others didn't, who'd wanted him to have one good night. "I don't want to back out," he said slowly, "but I need you to be honest with me from now on. No more secrets." Emma nodded, relief washing over her face. "No more secrets, I promise." But as Marcus returned to his cart, questions swirled. If her father owned the hospital, why was she working regular nursing shifts? What was she running from? And what would happen when people found out the poor janitor was taking the CEO's daughter to prom? The next 3 days were torture. Marcus couldn't stop thinking about Emma's secret. At school, rumors had already started about his mystery date. Tyler kept pushing for details. "Just tell me what she looks like at least," Tyler begged during lunch. "You'll see Saturday," Marcus said. But his mind wasn't on prom anymore. It was on the fact that he was entering a world he didn't belong in. Emma might want to be normal, but she wasn't. She was Richard Whitmore's daughter, and Marcus was nobody. Friday night at the hospital, Emma seemed nervous. She caught Marcus during his break, holding 2 coffee cups. "Peace offering," she said, handing him one. "I know this week has been weird." "Just processing," Marcus admitted. They sat in the empty chapel, a quiet space away from the bustling wards. Emma wrapped her hands around her cup, gathering her thoughts. "My father built his company from nothing," she began. "He grew up poor, worked his way through medical school, started one clinic that became an empire. I admire him. But somewhere along the way, he forgot what it was like to be normal. He expects me to join the company, marry someone from the right family, live in the right neighborhood. When I said I wanted to work as a nurse first, to understand healthcare from the ground level, he was furious." "So you're rebelling," Marcus said. "I'm choosing my own path." "There's a difference." Emma's eyes met his. "I moved out 6 months ago, rented a studio apartment on my nursing salary. My father thinks I'm being foolish, that I'll come crawling back, but I won't. I need to prove I can make it on my own, that I'm more than just his daughter." Marcus understood that feeling. "I work here for the same reason, to prove I'm more than just the poor kid from the trailer park." Emma smiled sadly. We're both trying to escape expectations. But tomorrow night, at prom, people will see us together. They'll find out who you are. This whole normal life you've built, it could disappear. I know, Emma whispered, and I'm terrified, but I'm also tired of hiding. Maybe it's time people know the truth. Maybe it's time I stop being ashamed of where I come from. Her vulnerability caught Marcus off guard. She wasn't some spoiled rich girl playing dress-up. She was genuinely struggling with her identity, just like him. We'll face it, together, Marcus said. Whatever happens tomorrow. Emma reached for his hand. Thank you for seeing me. The real me. They sat in comfortable silence, two people from opposite worlds who'd somehow found common ground in a hospital corridor. But Marcus couldn't shake the feeling that tomorrow would change everything. Prom wasn't just a dance anymore. It was the night their two worlds would collide. And neither of them was prepared for the fallout. Saturday arrived with suffocating humidity. Marcus spent the morning helping his mom with errands, his stomach churning with anxiety. The suit hung in his closet, a reminder of the evening ahead. You nervous about tonight? His mom asked while they folded laundry. Yeah, Marcus admitted. This girl must be special if she's got you this worked up. She is, but it's complicated. His mom stopped folding, giving him her full attention. Complicated how? Marcus considered telling her everything, but decided against it. She'd worry, or worse, tell him to cancel. Just different worlds, I guess. Baby, anyone worth your time won't care about worlds, or money, or any of that. They'll care about your character. And you've got more character than most folks I've met. She kissed his forehead. Go have fun tonight. You deserve it. Emma picked him up at 7 in her Honda. She wore a simple navy dress, her hair loose around her shoulders. No diamonds, no designer labels, just Emma. You look beautiful, Marcus said, climbing into the passenger seat. You look pretty sharp yourself, she smiled, but he could see the tension in her jaw. The drive to school was quiet. Other cars lined the parking lot, expensive sedans, a few limos, kids posed for photos on the front lawn, parents snapping pictures with expensive cameras. Marcus and Emma walked through the entrance together, her hand in his. The gymnasium had been transformed with lights and decorations, music pumped through speakers. Marcus spotted Tyler near the punch bowl, whose jaw literally dropped when he saw Emma. Dude, Tyler whispered when Marcus approached. That's your date. She's like an actual adult. She's 22, Marcus said. It's allowed. But people were staring, whispering. Marcus saw the judgment in their eyes. The poor scholarship kid, bringing an older woman to prom. They probably thought he'd paid her or something equally ridiculous. Emma squeezed his hand. Ignore them. Want to dance? They moved to the dance floor, and for a while, Marcus forgot about everyone else. Emma was a good dancer, easy to follow. They laughed, talked, swayed to slow songs. For 2 hours, it was perfect. Then Richard Whitmore walked into the gymnasium. Marcus saw Emma's face go pale. The billionaire CEO stood in the entrance, wearing a suit that probably cost more than Marcus's entire education. Security flanked him. The principal rushed over, clearly surprised and confused. Emma, Richard's voice carried across the room. We need to talk. The music stopped. Everyone turned to stare. Emma's hand trembled in Marcus's. Dad, not here, she said quietly. You won't return my calls. You skip family events. What was I supposed to do? Richard's eyes shifted to Marcus, assessing him in seconds. Is this why you're dating a high school student now? He's 18. And we're not dating, we're friends. Friends. Richard's tone dripped with skepticism. Emma, this is beneath you. Whatever statement you're trying to make, it's done. Come home. Tonight. Marcus felt every eye in the gymnasium on them. His classmates pulled out phones, recording. This would be all over social media within minutes. The poor janitor and the billionaire's daughter at prom was too good not to share. Emma stepped forward, her voice steady despite the trembling. No. Excuse me. I said no. You don't get to control my life anymore. I'm not leaving. And I'm not ashamed of being here with Marcus. The gymnasium held its collective breath. Richard Whitmore's expression hardened. We'll discuss this at home. I don't live at home anymore, remember? You made it very clear that if I wanted to work as a nurse, I was on my own. Emma's voice gained strength. So I'm on my own. This is my life. These are my choices. A teacher tried to intervene, but Richard waved him off. The CEO's attention fixed on Marcus with laser focus. What's your name, son? Marcus Chen, sir. Marcus Chen, and what are your intentions with my daughter? The question was absurd, given the circumstances, but Marcus understood the game. This wasn't really about intentions. This was about control, about Richard reasserting dominance over a situation that had spiraled beyond his reach. We're friends, Marcus said clearly. Emma asked me to prom because she never got to go to hers. That's all this is. That's all? Richard's laugh was cold. My daughter doesn't do anything without reason. If she's associating with you, it's because she's trying to prove something to me. You're a pawn in a family argument you don't understand. The words stung because part of Marcus had wondered the same thing. Was he just a prop in Emma's rebellion, a way to spite her father? But Emma's response erased those doubts. Marcus is the only person in my life who's been genuine, she said. He didn't want anything from me. He didn't know who I was, and he treated me with more respect than anyone in your circles ever has. He works 2 jobs to support his family. He's at the top of his class despite having every disadvantage. And you know what? He's shown me more about what real work and real character look like than you ever could. The gymnasium was silent. Marcus's classmates watched, like this was a movie instead of real life. Richard's face reddened. You're embarrassing yourself, and you're embarrassing the family name. No, Dad, I'm finally living honestly. If that embarrasses you, that's your problem, not mine. For a long moment, father and daughter stared at each other. Then, Richard turned to his security. When you're ready to come home, call me. Until then, you're on your own. Completely your own. He walked out, security following. The principal scrambled after them, apologizing. Music slowly started again, but the atmosphere had changed. Everyone was still staring, still whispering. Emma turned to Marcus, tears in her eyes. I'm so sorry, I ruined your prom. You didn't ruin anything, Marcus said firmly. You just stood up to a bully. That took guts. He meant it. He's cutting me off, completely. Then you'll do what you've been doing, work hard, make your own way, and you won't be alone. Marcus squeezed her hand. I mean, we're both experts at being broke. We can compare notes. Emma laughed through tears. This isn't what you signed up for. Actually, I signed up for prom with a cool person. And that's exactly what I got. The drama was just a bonus. Tyler appeared beside them, looking concerned. You guys okay? We're fine, Emma said, wiping her eyes. Thanks. That was the most insane thing I've ever seen, Tyler said. But also kind of awesome. Your dad seems like a jerk. He's complicated, Emma said diplomatically. The rest of prom was subdued. People kept their distance, unsure how to act around the girl who'd just been publicly disowned. But Marcus stayed by Emma's side, and gradually, some of his friends came over. Tyler made jokes. A few girls complimented Emma's dress. By the end of the night, it almost felt normal again. Almost. Emma drove Marcus home in silence. When she pulled up to his trailer, she didn't immediately let him leave. I need to tell you something, she said. More secrets? Marcus tried to joke, but his voice fell flat. No. Just truth. She turned to face him. My father will make things difficult now, for both of us. He has influence everywhere. He could make it hard for you to get scholarships, jobs, anything. If you want to distance yourself from me, I'd understand. Marcus had already considered this during the drive. Richard Whitmore could absolutely destroy his future with a few phone calls. College plans, job opportunities, all of it could vanish, because he dared to associate with the wrong person. But he also thought about what his mom had said. Character matters more than circumstances. I'm not going anywhere, Marcus said. If your dad wants to make my life difficult, let him try. I've dealt with difficult my whole life. What's one more rich guy thinking he can control everything? Emma's expression softened. You're either very brave or very stupid. Probably both. Marcus smiled. But here's what I think. You stood up to your father tonight. You chose your own path, even knowing what it would cost. That's the kind of person I want in my corner. And maybe you need someone in yours too. Someone who's not scared of your last name or your father's money. I do need that, Emma whispered. More than you know. They sat in the car, 2 people who'd stumbled into each other's lives by accident and chosen to stay by design. Prom hadn't been perfect. It had been messy and complicated, and public in the worst way. But it had also been real. What happens now? Marcus asked. Now I prove I can make it without my father's help. Keep working. Keep saving. Maybe go back to school eventually for my nurse practitioner license. Build a life that's actually mine. Sounds like a good plan. What about you? College in the fall. State school, full scholarship, maybe medical school after that. I've been thinking about becoming a doctor. He paused. Think your dad would hate that? Emma laughed. Oh, he'd lose his mind. Which makes me support it even more. Marcus stepped out of the car, then leaned back in. Hey Emma. Yeah? Thanks for inviting me to prom. Despite everything, it was a good night. Thanks for saying yes. Despite everything, you're a good person. She drove away, taillights disappearing into the darkness. Marcus stood in front of his trailer, still wearing the expensive suit, still processing everything that had happened. His phone buzzed. A text from Emma. Coffee tomorrow? We should probably debrief. Marcus smiled and typed back. Definitely, my treat. You're a janitor who just got threatened by a billionaire. I'll buy the coffee. Deal. He went inside, where his mom was waiting up. How was prom? Complicated, Marcus said, but good, really good. And, as he hung up the suit and got ready for bed, Marcus realized something important. Life was full of moments that didn't go according to plan. Rich girls fell for poor boys, powerful men tried to control outcomes. Worlds collided in high school gymnasiums, but through all of it, what mattered was choosing who you wanted to be. Emma had chosen courage, Marcus had chosen loyalty. And whatever came next, whether Richard Whitmore made good on his threats, or Emma built the life she wanted, or Marcus found his path to medical school, they'd face it with the same honesty that had brought them tethered in the first place. Sometimes the best stories started with the simplest invitation. A nurse asking a janitor to prom, a poor boy saying yes, and two people discovering that despite coming from different worlds, they both wanted the same thing. To be seen for who they really were, not who everyone expected them to be. The rest would figure itself out. One shift at a time, one day at a time, one choice at a time. Together. Retry.